Hi, this is Dennis with Second Chance Tackle. Today we're going to see if we can learn by failure. And by that I mean we're going to take a look at a reel that has failed. It's a Zebco Genesis reel. And well, sometimes you can learn more about a reel from why it breaks than you can in the actual service and repair of the reel. Now here's another Zebco Genesis reel. This one, well, it runs fine and turns nice and smooth and easy. This one doesn't turn. It's locked up. So a lot of times these reels are fairly generic reels. They're reels that are made following a general design. The general design is applied across a lot of brands, and well, a lot of times learning from one has application to learning from to going to help you repair others. So we're going to take the reel apart. We'll take a look at what's going on here. This one, well, it was sent in by Bobby. Bobby's out in Tennessee. He gets a lot of reels, and every now and then he asks me to, oh, can you see if you can put it back together again, or can you fix it? Those are generally the two requests that I get. And this one's missing a handle, so it's obviously been in a parts bin. It's stuck. And, well, I don't know why it's stuck, so that's what we're all going to learn from. To do that, we want to take the reel apart. We're going to start by removing the exterior pieces. As I do that, I want to encourage you to subscribe to my channel. If you like the art of fishing reel service and repair, if you like learning about fishing reels, if you like to see why they break, if you want to see how the solutions behind that, well, this is a good channel for that. The idea behind here is to give reels a second chance, and in most cases what we want to do is, well, we want to show you how to do it yourself so that you can keep your reels working well too. All right, we're getting a little problem right here with the taking off of the spool. Well, that should just flip right off of it. There you go. Must be a little burr or something in there. All right, so that removes, kind of gives us a picture of what's going on in the spool itself. We'll take a look at the reel, I guess. Why not, right? So the reel has not been maintained well. That's obvious. There's a lot of rust, dirt, debris inside the drag washer column. These are hard washers. Now, hard washers don't need to be lubricated, and a lot of times manufacturers will kind of use those hard washers where they know that somebody's not going to be doing the service on the reel. And these are what I almost call trade reels, although this has got a brand name to it in Zebco. Zebco usually does not support the reels from a parts standpoint or a service standpoint. And well, that just leads itself to say it becomes disposable. When it's disposable, manufacturers make choices like this. So let's take a look at the inside of this reel. Interestingly enough, it's just started working again. Isn't that something? It's all rusted, and I'm not seeing oscillation here. That post should be coming up and down, and that post is stationary. So something's seized inside, but taking the spool off is probably locked on this rotor here, I'm thinking. Cause this to lock up. Now, this is a pinion gear ferrule that should be down inside the anti-reverse clutch. A lot of strange things here, so let's continue. I'm going to take the screws off the side here. Now, normally you should be able to remove this. I don't think that's going to come off. That looks like it's pretty well rusted on here. Yeah, we're just going to see if we can't get that from the inside. Try that first. The gearing I'm going to expect to see, like we were talking about with an inexpensive reel that you don't expect to be serviced, I guess is the gearing is what we would call pot metal. It's not going to be anything of great consequence in there. And since this oscillation is not happening, my first thought on why the reel failed is that we have a broken oscillation gear inside. and you probably have a piece of it that's jamming that main gear. But it's always nice to hypothesize about what it is and then actually find out what it is. Sometimes it's good to learn what it isn't. So one of the things you learn right away about this reel is, even though it's an inexpensive reel where the manufacturer does not provide the service and support and doesn't expect the average user to service it, that you can keep this reel going for a long time if you do the service. I mean, this is an example of it. This is in a whole lot better condition than the one we're working on, and it's got a lot of fishing left in it, but part of that fishing service is that you do need to do the regular maintenance on it. And what is the regular maintenance? Regular maintenance is all about taking the reel apart, cleaning it, and trying to keep it going for as long as you can. Well, this plate goes underneath. We're having an issue here with the click ratchet, so let's go back to that then, see if we can't get this spacer off. Oh, now we can move it up a little bit. This is all rust. That's the primary issue here. Alright, we got the click ratchet off. When I take my pieces and parts off, they go into a parts tray. I'm not sure if it's going to be worth putting this back together again once we determine what the issue is. A lot of rust here. Well, rust tells you a couple of things. One of the things it tells you is that the materials used in here are lower end materials. These are steel. The shaft would be steel, and the counterweight here is steel. And well, steel rusts. Stainless steel does not. But stainless steel costs more. So a lot of the concessions that manufacturers make is to go with the lesser costing materials in lower priced reels. Alright, I'm not sure we're going to remove the rotor nut. Should be able to move up and out on the rotor. We have a what appears to be an anti-reverse clutch in here, but that also frees up now the ability to go underneath here and get this side plate off and get a better look at it. Okay, so why aren't we getting an oscillation? Hard to say. Okay, well, I'm not sure we can get this off right now. I think we might just literally be stuck. What I'm thinking right now is that we've probably lost the stud on the oscillation gear, or the teeth on the back of the main gear. Let's presume it's the teeth that drive that oscillation gear from the back side. Well, how do we see that? We can pull down, right? So this oscillation gear came down when I pulled it down, which says that this slot is probably still working okay. I'm going to take this off. To remove your axle shaft, you remove the screw that's holding the axle shaft to the crosswind block. You pull that out. Now we should be able to remove the main gear. And that's exactly what happened. We've lost all of the teeth on the back of the main gear. What happened there, I can see it inside now in the case. Here's some of the teeth. Teeth are in the shadows here, and that's probably what was stopping. Here's an example. Here's one of the teeth right there. You can see. So what's happening, those teeth were getting caught in the main gear. That's why you couldn't turn the reel itself. Well, there's so many things wrong with this reel that it's just not repairable. The first thing is, if you could find a donor reel, that the cost of the donor reel is probably more than the reel is worth. You probably would buy one like this that's functioning. You might as well just use that. Second thing, you've got a frozen bearing up top here. You can see as you're turning it, the bearing's not turning. You have a broken main gear. You have a rusted axle shaft. you have a rusted counterweight, and we didn't check that part with the bail. But for the most part, this reel is non-repairable given the lack of parts support from Zebco, and well, if they were available, it would be because of the cost of the parts would be more than the reel is worth. So just a couple more things to note here. It's a lower end reel. Again, you have a plastic bushing on this side. You have some kind of composite bushing on this side. Not sure what that metal is. All the broken teeth on the back end, which drives your oscillation gear. You have a steel bearing underneath here that's all rusted, and all of the other rust behind it. Okay, what did we learn? I think we learned a couple of things. One of them is, even though it's a low-level reel, it does need to be maintained in order to keep you fishing worry-free. In this case, there's no indication whatsoever from the drag washers up top that were never serviced, to inside the case, which is pretty much bone dry, to the axle shaft, the rotor, and other components in the assembly being totally rusted out, and of course the chewed up back end of the main gear. Say that the metals used in the reel are not going to hold up. They can do the job that you initially purchased the reel for. This reel probably should only be fished in fresh water, and if you fish it in fresh water, make sure that you service this thing on a regular basis to provide that worry-free fishing. If you're looking for something more than that, this is not the place or the reel to go purchase. Go ahead and spend a couple extra dollars. Get ones that have either stainless steel or different types of alloys for the gearing, and well, maybe even water sealed, if you will, in terms of getting the best support there. So we learned a lot from this reel. We learned that the low-end reels do require maintenance in order to provide worry-free fishing, and if you let them go too long, well, this is probably what's going to happen to those reels. So I hope you've enjoyed it. I've learned things from this reel, and well, I hope you have as well. Before I leave, I want to thank our first responders, our police, fire, safety, rescue, and all of the folks involved in keeping us out of harm's way. And I want to thank you, the viewers, for all the contributions you make to this channel, for keeping it vibrant, and for, well, helping give reels a second chance. This is Dennis with Second Chance Tackle. Have a great day.